Shall we? What we are discussing, ma? I think we are discussing perquisites. There we completed 7 perquisites. I hope. So let's verify the remaining perquisites, ma. So what is the next perquisite we are going to discuss? Is benefit in respect of movable asset. What is that, ma? Benefit in respect of movable asset. Tell me in how many ways the employer can provide benefit through movable assets to employee, ma? Understood the question? In how many ways the employer can provide benefit from movable asset to the employee? First of all, I will explain the situations with the help of example. Then you tell me what are the possible ways in which the employer can provide benefit to the employee by using a mobile asset, through mobile asset. First example, say for example the employer is having karma. The employer is having one Skoda car, assume. Now that Skoda car has been given to the employee for usage. The Skoda car has been given for usage to the employee. Or say for example employer purchased 10 ACs to fix in the office premises. How many ACs he purchased? 10. And while fixing 8 ACs are enough, ma. That means after fixing 8 ACs, there is no place for fixing the remaining 2 ACs. That means remaining 2 ACs, the package itself is not opened. It is unused, just set aside in the office premises. Hence he called the employee and says, I purchased 10 ACs, but we are able to fix only 8 ACs in the premises, office premises. 2 ACs are unused. I will give you 1 AC because summer is coming. I will give you 1 AC. You can use this AC for 3 months and you can return back this AC after usage of 3 months. This is first possible case. Tell me here, the employee is getting any benefit from employer? Yes, he is getting. What is that, ma? He is getting AC for usage. In first example, he received car for usage, ma, from employer. Next example, he received AC for usage. How many months he is going to use that AC? 3 months. After 3 months, it will be returned back to employer. Understood? Now, here employer is charging 0 rupees for usage of this air condition in the house of the employee for 3 months. That means there is a benefit from the usage of the movable asset. We need to verify what is the taxable value of benefit. So first situation we arrived successfully. What is the first situation? Movable asset given for usage by the employer to the employee. What happened, ma? Mobile asset given for usage. Second situation, ma. Let's consider the same facts. 8 ACs installed in the office premises. 2 ACs remained unused. Now he called the employee and says 2 ACs are unused. I don't have the use of these 2 ACs. So I want to sell it off to you. I want to transfer one of the AC to you. The cost is 50,000. The AC cost is 50,000. But I will transfer you for just 10,000. Now tell me whether any benefit received by the employee from the employer here? Yes. From what? From transfer of movable asset. In our earlier case, he received the benefit from usage of the mobile asset. In this example, in this case, he received the benefit. He got the benefit from the employer in respect of transfer of mobile asset. 50,000 worth of AC received only by paying 10,000 rupees. Benefit is there. That benefit is chargeable to tax. So what are the possible situations are there for the purpose of determination of TV of benefit towards mobile asset? Means 2 possible situations, ma. First possible situation, mobile asset given for usage. Second possible situation, mobile asset transferred to the employee. Let's verify. Situation 1, situation 2. mobile asset given for usage to the employee, first case. Second case, second situation, mobile asset transferred to the employee. First of all, let us verify what is TVF benefit, how to determine TVF benefit under situation 1. Then we can go for situation 2. Pay attention ma. Situation 1. Mobile asset given for usage to the employee. If at all mobile asset given usage to the employee under situation 1, to determine TVF benefit, the assets, mobile assets has been categorized into 2 categories ma. For the purpose of determination of TVF benefit in respect of usage of mobile asset, the mobile assets has been categorized into 2 categories. First category, computers, laptop and other peripheral devices. And second category is other than first category things, mobile asset, that is other than computer. Let's verify ma. Category 1, category 2. Under category 1, in case of computers, laptops and other electronic gadgets, okay, that is printer and scanner. My electronic gadgets means printer and scanner, not fridge, AC, remote and TV, etc. It is printer and scanner which is used for official purpose, ma. Now category 2, other than computer, laptop and other electronic gadgets covered under category 1. So first of all, let us verify what is the tax treatment if at all category 1 mobile assets have been given for usage by the employer to the employee. So what are the mobile assets given under category 1 ma? Laptops, computers and other electronic gadgets like printer and scanner. My question, computer provided by the employer to the employee at home, or laptop given to the employee, or printer or scanner given to the employee at home for usage. My question, this is for the benefit of employer or for the benefit of employee ma? Obviously it is for the benefit of employer ma. How can you say? Because to do work from home also after completion of office hours, after 9 to 5 job, even that employee is doing office work at home by using these things. That means what is the main intention of the employer for providing these things to the employee for usage means to complete the official work at home, not even at office, even at home. That means here the intention is for the purpose of official purpose to complete the office work at home. That means it is for the benefit of employee or for the benefit of employer ma? It is for the benefit of employer. Hence lawmaker says not a taxable value of benefit. Understood? Now the point is, the employee using the laptop partly for official purpose and partly for personal purpose. That means he is watching movies ma. He is watching movies and he is using for Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, blah blah blah. Understood? That means partly for official and partly for personal purpose. Then tell me what is the TVF benefit? The lawmaker says even though it is using partly for personal purpose, still it is not a taxable value of benefit in the hands of employee, because the main intention is for official usage purpose the employer provided. Hence even though part of the time it is used for personal purpose by the employee, still it is not a taxable value of benefit in the hands of employee. Remember, so many times given in the examination, laptop provided by the employer to the employee, partly using for official purpose, partly using for personal purpose. What is the TVF benefit? TVF benefit is 0, because the main intention is official purpose. Therefore even sometimes used by the employer for partly personal purpose, still it is not a taxable benefit in the hands of employee. It is not a taxable benefit in the hands of employee since it is in the benefit of employer. Good. Even though employee is using such computer for personal purpose for sometimes, still it is not a taxable benefit since the primary object is for official purpose. Main intention, main object, primary object is official purpose ma. Next, category 2. What are the mobile assets covered under category 2 ma? Very simple. Other than category 1 mobile assets, obviously we cannot say that is for official usage purpose. Obviously it is for the benefit of employee. Here we need to determine TVF benefit ma. It is a taxable benefit in the hands of employee. Very good. Then how to determine TVF benefit in case of other mobile assets? Please tell me. Two possible cases are here ma. For the purpose of determination of TV of benefit, there are two possible cases. First one is that mobile asset is owned by the employer. That means that AC is owned by the employer. In such a case, how to determine TV of benefit? The procedure is different. Second case, the mobile asset taken on lease by the employer. That AC has been taken on lease by the employer from outsiders and provided to the employee for usage. This is second case. That means leased by the employer. Then the procedure for determination of TV of benefit is different. So what are the possible two cases while determining TV of benefit in case of any other mobile asset given for usage? First case, owned by the employer. Second case, leased by the employer. Understood the point? If it is owned by the employer, what is the TV of benefit? If it is leased by the employer, what is the TV of benefit? Let's verify. Owned by the employer, in such a case, what is TV of benefit? 10% of actual cost per annum. Come again. What is the TV of benefit if at all any other mobile asset given for usage to the employee? If it is owned by the employer, 10% of actual cost per annum. The 10% you need to apply per annum. Say for example, that AC cost is 50,000 owned by the employer. Now this is given for 3 months. Then what is the TV of benefit in respect of usage of AC for 3 months in the hands of employee? Please tell me. What is the computation? Now 10% we need to apply. That should be applied on what? Actual cost. Remember the point, The 10% must be applied on actual cost. In examination they will give double DV also. Don't consider double DV for the purpose of applying 10%. Consider actual cost. So what is actual cost of that AC? 50,000 to the employer into 10% into the 10% is per annum. But how many months he used? Only 3 months. Therefore we need to consider 3 by 12. So what is the computation? 50,000 into 10% into 3 by 12. Then you will get TV of benefit in respect of mobile asset AC provided to the employee for usage, which is owned by the employer. Understood the point? Second situation, leased by the employer. That means taken on lease by the employer. In such a case, what is TV of benefit? Very simple. Actual lease rentals paid by the employer. What is that, Actual lease rentals paid by the employer. This is the TV of benefit. In case anything recovered from the employee. Are you following? Anything recovered from the employee. Then in case of owned, 10% of actual cost determination is there. From that recover, reduce what is recovered from the employee. Then balance is TV of benefit. When it comes to second case, leased, consider actual lease rentals paid by the employer less amount collected from the employee. Then balance will be TV of benefit. Are you following? Yes. Okay. That is regarding situation 1. What is situation 1? Mobile asset given for usage to the employee. Very good. Next, mobile asset transferred to the employee. Come again. Mobile asset transferred to the employee. For the purpose of mobile asset given for usage to the employee, that mobile assets has been bifurcated into 2 categories with respect to usage. But when it comes to transferred case, the mobile assets has been bifurcated into 3 categories. Remember, how many categories? 3. First one is same as above: computers, laptops and other electronic gadgets like printers and scanners. First case, first category. Second category, motor car. Remember, second category is motor car. Third category, any other mobile asset. What do you mean by any other mobile asset? Other than category 1, category 2. That means other than computer and motor car. So tell me, how many categories we are having for the purpose of determination of TV of benefit with respect to mobile asset transfer to the employee? 3 categories. What are those? Category 1, computers, laptops, other electronic gadgets like printers and scanners. Category 2, motor car. Category 3, any other movable asset. Okay. Let's verify the procedure to determine TV of benefit for category 1. First of all, let's verify the procedure to determine TV of benefit for category 1. That is computers, laptops and other electronic gadgets. Let's verify. Tell me what happened here. What is the benefit employee is receiving from employer in respect of transfer of computer, transfer of laptop, transfer of electronic gadget? Understood the point? Yes. Now if at all that mobile asset, that computer laptop transferred to the employee, how to determine TV of benefit in the hands of employee? That is my question. How to determine TV of benefit in the hands of employee? You tell me. You think and tell me. Come on. Think and tell me. Say for example, the laptop cost is 1 lakh rupees ma. The laptop cost is 1 lakh rupees. Now that laptop purchased by the employer 5 years back by expending rupees 1 lakh. So what is actual cost of the laptop ma? 1 lakh, purchased 5 years before. That means all these 5 years used by the employer ma. All these 5 years used by the employer, and at the end of 5th year, after completion of 5 years of complete usage, at the end of the 5th year, it is transferred to the employee for 5,000. Assume the actual cost is 1 lakh, used for 5 years by the employer. After completed usage of 5 years, it is transferring to the employee by receiving a consideration of 5,000 ma. Now please tell me, what is the procedure to determine TV of benefit? I will tell you one procedure, you tell me whether it is fair or unfair, right or wrong. Come on. Say for example, assume what is the cost to the employer ma? 1 lakh. Less what is recovered from the employee? 5,000. Now what is the balance? 95,000. So I will propose to charge 95,000 as a TV of benefit in the hands of employee in respect of transfer of laptop ma. You tell me, fair or unfair? Totally unfair. Why? How can you consider actual cost of 1 lakh if at all it is used for 5 completed years ma? If at all 5 completed years has been used, the value should be reduced to some extent. So without reducing the value, entire 1 lakh you considering, and 5,000 recovered from the employee you are reducing, 95,000 you are saying chargeable to tax in the hands of employee, means obviously it is totally unfair. That means what lawmaker says, consider actual cost to the employer, no problem, but you need to allow depreciation. What is that? You need to allow depreciation at the rate 50% ma. What is the rate of depreciation? 50% on double DV basis, on written down value basis. Apply 50% of depreciation for each completed year of usage. That means first year 1 lakh is actual cost. How much depreciation we need to claim? 50,000. Second year 25,000. Third year 12,500. Fourth year how much ma? 6,250. Fifth year half of that claim. Then you will get actual cost, written down value of the computer at the time of transfer. From that you need to reduce what is recovered from the employee. Then it is TV of benefit you are charging to tax. It is fair. So what I'm trying to explain is, if at all that mobile asset has been used for some period by the employer, then you need to reduce depreciation at a specified rate on specified procedure. Are you following? For each completed year of usage, then you need to get the written down value at the time of transfer. From that written down value, you need to reduce what is recovered from the employee. Then balance is there, it will be taxable value of benefit in the hands of employee ma. Understood the point? So let's verify the procedure. Chalo. Actual cost to the employer, consider less depreciation at the rate 50% on double DV basis. What is the rate of depreciation? 50% ma. Why? Because computers, laptops and these electronic gadgets are having very less time ma, limited time, and new updations will come, new models will come. Obviously within no time these things will get outdated. That's why lawmaker proposed 50% rate of depreciation. On what basis? Double DV basis, written down value basis. You know what is written down value? I'm not going to explain that, right? And this must be considered for each completed year of usage. That is very important point. That means you need to reduce 50% on double DV basis for each completed year of usage. That means out of 365 days used by the employer, then only you need to consider 50% of depreciation ma. In case only 12 out of 12 months, only 6 months used by the employer, then you cannot reduce the depreciation, because you can reduce the depreciation only when it is completed. What is that? full completed year of usage. Are you following? Say for example, out of 365 days, only 364 days used by the employer. Can we treat it as each completed year of usage? That no, then we cannot claim the depreciation for that year. That means you have to claim the depreciation only when there is completed, full completed year of usage done by the employer. That is the point. So less depreciation at 50% on double DV basis for each completed year of usage. Then you will get what? Value of the mobile asset at the time of transfer. From that less amount collected from employee, then obviously you will get TV of benefit in respect of transfer of category 1 movable asset. This is the format to determine TV of benefit in respect of category 1 mobile asset. Chalo, tell me what is the procedure. Consider actual cost to the employer less depreciation at the rate 50% on double DV basis for each completed year of usage. Then you will get value at the time of transfer. From that less amount collected from employee, then you will get TV of benefit. Next, in case of motor car, everything is same. Everything is same except a rate of depreciation. Instead of 50%, you need to consider 20% on double DV basis. What is the change in the rate? 20% you need to consider, because obviously the motor car will not get outdated early. Obviously every model will be having a long period of life. That's why they are not giving 50% of rate, they are giving only 20%. Consider the fact everything is same. Then tell me what is the format. Actual cost to the employer less depreciation at the rate 20% on double DV basis for each completed year of usage, less, then you will get value at the time of transfer, less amount collected from employee. Simple. Then you will get TV of benefit. Understood the point? Yes. Next, mobile asset transferred to the employee. Okay, category 3, any other mobile asset. What do you mean by any other mobile asset other than computer, other than motor car? Everything is same, but the rate of depreciation is 10% and not double DV, it is SLM basis. Very important. Not double DV, it is SLM basis. What do you mean by SLM? Every time you need to apply 10% on actual cost for each completed year of usage. Actual cost to the employer less depreciation at the rate 10% on SLM basis for each completed year of usage. Then you will get value at the time of transfer. From that less amount collected from employee, then you will get TV of benefit in respect of category 3 movable asset. This is the procedure to determine TV of benefit in respect of mobile asset relating to usage as well as transfer. Understood the point? So many times appeared in the examination, it is very important for you to consider the perquisite called mobile asset. Okay, I have provided certain examples for your better understanding. Please pay attention. I will explain so that you will be having much grip on this concept. Chalo. The employer provided a music system to Mr. Y on 15/10/2021 for use. When that music system provided by the employer for usage, 15th October 2021. Okay. The actual cost of the music system to the employer is 15,000. Determine the TV of benefit relating to mobile asset in the hands of Mr. Y for the assessment year 22-23. Tell me, music system covered under which category? Category 2 in case of usage of mobile asset. Then in case of category 2, owned by the employer, 10% of actual cost per annum, leased by the employer, actual lease rentals paid by the employer. Here it is owned. Then we have to apply 10% on actual cost. Given actual cost, how much? 15,000. So 15,000 into 10% into, that is per annum basis. How many months given for usage? October month, half month. November, December, January, February, March. That means 5 months and 15 days given for usage. For that period, we need to determine TV of benefit. Let's verify. Determination of TV of benefit towards usage of music system in the hands of Mr. Y owned. TV of benefit equal to 10% of actual cost per annum. What is actual cost? 15,000 into 10% into 5.5 by 12, because that is the period which is used by the employee. Then how much? It is 687.5 rupees. That is the TV of benefit. Good. Example 2. The employer transferred motor car to his employee What is transferred ma? Motor car. That means category 2. What is the rate of depreciation? 20%. Double DV or SLM? WDV. Good. Mr. Z on 1/1/2022 for a consideration of 2,10,000. What is 2,10,000 ma? Amount collected from employee is 2,10,000. Next. The employer purchased such car for 6,96,000 on 15/5/2019. This is actual cost to the employer ma. What is actual cost to the employer? 6,96,000. What is date of purchase? 15/5/2019. Tell me, date of purchase is having relevance or no relevance? Having much relevance ma, to determine number of completed years of usage. Date of purchase, date of transfer having much relevance ma. Two dates are very important to determine number of completed years of usage to claim to reduce the depreciation at the rate 20%. Determine the TVF benefit relating to mobile asset in the hands of Mr. Z for the assessment year 22-23. Okay. Determination of TVF benefit in respect of transfer of motor car in the hands of Mr. Z. What is the procedure ma? WDV. Method is WDV at the rate 20%. Date of purchase. What is date of purchase? 15th May 2019. Date of transfer ma? 1/1/2022. Tell me, having any relevance these 2 days? 2 dates ma? Much relevance having. Why? Depending upon these 2 dates, we are in a position to determine number of completed years of usage to claim the depreciation. Particulars amount column. First one ma, actual cost to the employer. What is actual cost to the employer? 6,96,000. Okay, from that what we need to reduce? Please tell me. Less depreciation at the rate 20% on double DV basis for first completed year of usage. What is first completed year of usage ma? 15th May 2019 to 14th May 2020. That is the first completed year of usage. When it is transferred to the employee ma? 1/1/2022. That means there is a first completed year of usage done by the employer. Less depreciation for first completed year of usage. 15/5/2019 to 14/5/2020. Yes, first completed year of usage is there. Calculation ma, 6,96,000 into 20%. How much we need to reduce? 1,39,200 rupees. 1 second. Chalo ma. So less depreciation for first complete year of usage. How much? 6,96,000 into 20%, 1,39,200. Then what is the WDV as on 15/5/2020 ma? It is 5,56,800. Let's verify. Can we claim depreciation at the rate 20% for second completed year of usage? Let's verify ma. For that we need to verify whether second completed year of usage is there or not. What is the second completed year of usage? 15th May 2022, 14th May 2021. What is that? 15th May 2022, 14th May 2021. What is the date of transfer? 1/1/22. That means second completed year of usage also there. We are eligible to claim the depreciation for second year also. Depreciation for second completed year of usage. 15/5/22, 14/5/21. Double DV, right? Written down value, right? Therefore, we need to apply on 5,56,800 into 20%. How much? 1,11,360. Then you will get double DV as on 15/5/2021. Double DV as on 15/5/2021. Let's verify whether we are having third completed year of usage or not. What is the third completed year of usage period ma? 15/5/2021 to 14/5/2022. Tell me, is it possible for claim depreciation for third completed year of usage? No, because when it is transferred to the employee on 1st January 2022, that means third complete year of usage is not there. Hence, we cannot claim the depreciation. Therefore, this double DV as on 15/5/21 is the value of the asset, mobile asset at the time of transfer. So what is the value of the mobile asset at the time of transfer ma? 4,45,440. That means 4,45,440 worth of car, motor car, given to the transfer to the employee by receiving a consideration of rupees just 2,10,000. So what is the TV of benefit ante? The TV of benefit is 2,35,440 rupees. That means what is recoverable is 4,45,440. That is recoverable because that is the double DV as on the date of transfer. But what is recovered? 2,10,000. Benefit is there to the employee. So that benefit 2,35,440 will be chargeable to tax in the hands of employee. Understood ma? So this is regarding example 2. Next, example 3. The employer transferred computer to his employee Mr. A on 1/1/2022 for a consideration of 29,250. Computer ma, transferred asset is, transferred mobile asset is computer, comes under category 1. Rate of depreciation 50%. Method double DV. These things you need to get remembrance whenever you see the question. Come on. The employer purchased such computer for 1,17,000 on 15/5/2019. Okay. Determine the TV of benefit relating to mobile asset in the hands of Mr. A for the assessment year 22-23. Let's verify ma. Determination of TV of benefit in respect of transfer of computer in the hands of Mr. A. Double DV at the rate 50%. We know. Date of purchase. What is date of purchase? 15th May 2019. Date of transfer ma? 1/1/2022. This period is important to complete, to determine number of completed years of usage. Good. Particulars amount column. Starting statement ma, starting point is actual cost to the employer. What is actual cost to the employer ma? 1,17,000 less depreciation at the rate 50% on double DV basis for first completed year of usage. What is first complete year of usage? 15/5/19 to 14/5/20. Same as above. 1,17,000 into 50%. 58,500. Then double DV on 15/5/20. 58,500. Second complete year of usage also there. How much we need to claim? 29,250. Because dates are same as earlier example ma. That's why I am not going to explain in detail again. So double DV as on 15/5/21 is 29,250. Thereafter we don't have third completed year of usage because the date of transfer is 1/1/2022. Therefore that will be the 29,250 shall be treated as value at the time of transfer. From that we need to less amount collected from employee. How much collected? 24,270 collected. Whereas what is collectible? 29,250. Then what is TV of benefit? 4,980 rupees is the TV of benefit. Understood? Yes. Example 4. The employer transferred fridge to his employee Mr. B on 11/22 for a consideration of 32,000. Ma fridge means comes under category 3. That means we need to apply 10% rate of depreciation. What is the method? SLM, straight line method. Remember. Then the employer purchased such a fridge for 40,000 on 15/5/2019. Very good. Determine the TVF benefit relating to mobile asset in the hands of Mr. B for the assessment year 22-23. Let's verify ma. Determination of TVF benefit in respect of transfer of fridge in the hands of Mr. B. SLM at the rate 10%. First one ma. Okay, date of purchase 15/5/2019. Date of transfer 1/1/2022. The dates are same as earlier examples. That means how many completed years of usage is there? 2 years. Consider. So actual cost to the employer, how much ma? 40,000. And the method is straight line method. Rate of depreciation is 10%. Since it is straight line method, for 2 completed years of usage at a time we can compute the depreciation, because it is not WDV. If it is WDV, step by step we need to determine. If it is SLM, at a time we can consider by considering total number of completed years of usage. That means for 2 complete years of usage at a time we can compute the depreciation. 15/5/19 to 14/5/20, 15/5/20 to 14/5/21. 2 years ma. 40,000 into 10% into directly 2 years, because the method is straight line method. Straight line method means always you need to apply an actual cost. 8,000 ma. Then what is WDV at the time of transfer? 32,000. But what is recovered from employee? Just 1,000. Then what is TVF benefit in the hands of employee ma? 31,000 is TVF benefit. Understood? This is the procedure to determine TVF benefit in respect of mobile asset when it is given for usage and given for and transfer to the employee. Good ma. Completed. What we completed, please tell me. Benefit towards mobile asset. How much time we invested? 36 minutes ma. 37. Say 37 minutes we invested only on mobile asset. Chalo. Okay. Next ma. Next benefit. TVF benefit towards interest free loan or concessional loan. What is that? TVF benefit towards interest free loan or concessional loan. I will explain what is that. Then we will verify the procedure how to determine TVF benefit. I will explain first the meaning of that. See, listen to me ma. The employer given loan to the employee ma. The employee is in much need. Whatever it may be the reason, the employee is in much need. The employer given 50 lakhs loan to the employee. How much loan ma? 50 lakhs. And charging 0% rate of interest. Charging how much? 0% rate of interest. Any benefit is there to the employee here? Who got interest free loan? What do you mean by interest free loan? No need to pay interest. What is the rate of interest charged by the employer? 0%. That means he is not paying any interest to the employer for 50 lakhs loan amount. Tell me, any benefit is there to the employee here? Obviously ma. In case if he obtained that 50 lakhs from outsiders, banks, financial institutions, money lenders, he is supposed to pay interest, some interest amount to them, to the lenders ma. He's obviously liable to pay interest amount to the lenders if at all he obtained 50 lakhs loan from outsiders. Since he obtained the loan from employer and employer is charging 0%, that means no need to pay interest, means he is getting interest benefit here. What is getting the benefit here? What is the benefit he is getting? Interest benefit ma. That interest benefit will be chargeable to tax. Understood? Are you following? Say for example 50 lakhs loan given to the employee by the employer by charging a small rate of interest of 2%, assume. Therefore we cannot treat it as interest free loan. We need to give the status of concessional loan. What is that? Concessional loan. Because market rate of interest is 10%, whereas employer charged only 2%. What is the interest benefit to the employee? 8% per annum ma. Interest savings 8% per annum. That is benefit to the employee. The outflow has been saved. That is taxable value of benefit chargeable to tax in the hands of employee. That is what do you mean by TVF benefit towards interest free loan or concessional loan. Understood the point? So let's verify the procedure. Come on. Total 4 steps we need to follow to determine TVF benefit towards interest free loan or concessional loan. Let's verify ma. Procedure for determination of TVF benefit towards interest-free loan or concessional loan. Step 1. We need to determine maximum outstanding monthly balance at the end of every month. MOMB. Come again. What we need to determine? We need to determine maximum outstanding monthly balance at the end of every month. MOMB simply. That is step 1. Step 2. Determine the rate of interest specified by SBI for that purpose. What is step 2? That means to determine interest benefit in the hands of employee, you should have some base rate, some market rate or base rate to determine TVF benefit to compare what is the benefit in the hands of, to compare and to determine what is the benefit in the hands of employee. You should have what? One fixed rate of interest or base rate of interest or market rate of interest. The lawmaker saying that base rate, that fixed rate, that market rate is SBI rate, because SBI bank is the largest bank in our country. Therefore the lawmakers asking the assessee to consider the SBI rate for the purpose of determination of TVF benefit in the hands of employee. Understood ma? And what is the next point? SBI for that purpose ma. What do you mean by for that purpose? Tell me that the interest rates are same for every purpose. Whether the interest rates are same for every purpose ma? Obviously no. When it comes to home loan, the interest rate is some extent low. If it is happen to be education loan, that is also low. If it is happen to be personal loan, the interest rate will be high. If it is happen to be car loan, the rate will be medium. That means for various purposes, various interest rates are available. So therefore, you need to consider what is the purpose for which the employee obtained loan from the employer, verify the rate of interest with SBI for that purpose and consider that rate of interest as a base rate and compare with the actual rate of interest charged by the employer, then balance is TVF benefit. Understood the point? Say for example, employee obtained loan from the employer for the purpose of purchasing house ma. That means the loan nature of the loan is home loan. Then verify what is the rate of interest for home loan with SBI. It is charging 6.75%, whereas employer is charging just 2%. What is the interest benefit to the employee here? 4.75% is interest benefit chargeable to tax. So for that we need to verify step 2. What is step 2 ma? Determine the rate of interest specified by SBI for that purpose, means that is the thing. Next, step 3. What is step 3? Determine the interest on aggregate MOMB by applying the rate of interest specified by SBI. See, we determined MOMB in step 1. Apply this rate of interest on step 1 amount MOMB, then determine the interest. Then this interest will be the interest receivable as per SBI. This is step 3. Interest amount is interest receivable as per SBI. From that reduce amount collected from employee, then you will get TVF benefit. That is step 4. Step 4 is TVF benefit. What is that? Interest determined in step 3, that is base interest, recoverable interest by the employer minus actually collected by the employer from the employee, reduce, then you will get TVF benefit. See, try to understand conceptually ma. Obviously some extent it will be tough to understand, but try to understand to the extent possible. After explaining the illustration on this concept, you will be having a better understanding. Believe me, after verification of the illustration on this situation, on this focus it, very easy for you to understand. Chalo. Next ma, the following are the 2 cases where there is no TVF benefit in respect of interest free loan or concessional loan. How many cases are there in which there will be no TVF benefit ma? 2 cases. In case in the examination, these 2 cases appeared in the examination, you should say that it is not a TVF benefit. There is no TVF benefit in the hands of employee. Are you following? Chalo. What are those 2 cases? First case, the aggregate loan amount received by the or obtained by the employee or family members of the employee during the previous year does not exceed 20,000 rupees. That means employee obtained some 5,000, employee's brother obtained 10,000, employee's father obtained some 5,000. Like this, the aggregate loan obtained by the employee or family members does not exceed 20,000 rupees per annum aite. Small amount 20,000, that means 5,000, 6,000, 7,000, some 18,000 loan obtained. For small loans, lawmakers not giving suffering to the employees. That's why they are saying if aggregate loan obtained is not exceeding 20,000 rupees per annum, then not a taxable value of benefit. No need to determine TV of benefit in the hands of employee. We are giving concession, no need to pay any tax on that. Understood the point? Yes. Where the aggregate loan amount obtained by the employee or any member of his household from employer during the current previous year does not exceed 20,000 ma. That means here the exemption is with reference to loan amount. The exemption is with reference to loan amount. My doubt ma, what if the aggregate loan obtained by the employee or family members from the employer exceeded 20,000 during the previous year? Like 25,000 assume, that means exceeded 20,000, then taxable value of benefit will be there or will not be there? Will be there, because exceeded 20,000. In such a case, we need to determine TV of benefit in excess of 20,000 or entire 25,000. Obviously, that's a question. That is a doubt normally the students will get. That means if at all the aggregate loan amount is exceeding 20,000, means say 25,000, then on entire 25,000 we are going to determine TV of benefit, interest benefit, or in excess of 20,000, 5,000 only na. Pay attention. In case it is exceeding 20,000, then on entire loan amount we need to determine TV of benefit in respect of concessional interest free loan. Not in excess, entire. That means on entire 25,000 we shall determine TV of interest benefit. Understood the point? Remember. Next ma, where the loan amount has been obtained by the employee or any member of his household from the employer for the purpose of medical treatment of specified disease. Second exception. Tell me why employee or member of family member of employee obtaining loan from the employer ma for purchasing car, for purchasing house, foreign tour, shopping, personal, medical treatment of specified disease ma. Valid purpose. It is a valid purpose. Lawmakers don't want to punish the assessee if at all he is obtaining loan for the purpose of medical treatment of specified disease. Must and should. Otherwise, the family member will die. That's why he obtained loan from the employer. In such a case, you cannot punish the assessee by charging to tax. That's why lawmaker says, if at all the loan obtained for the purpose of medical treatment of specified disease, don't worry, not chargeable to tax. Not a taxable value of benefit. I will not charge the interest benefit to tax. Understood the point? Good. So tell me, first case exemption is with reference to loan amount ma. That means does not exceed 20,000, not a TV of benefit. Exceeding 20,000 on entire loan amount we should determine TV of benefit. That means first case it is with reference to loan amount. Second case it is with reference to purpose ma. Exemption is with reference to purpose. If purpose is a specified disease, irrespective of the loan amount, that means whether the loan amount is 30 lakhs, 50 lakhs, 1 crore, if the purpose is specified disease medical treatment, I don't care. It is not a taxable value of benefit. I don't care regarding the loan amount. Whether it is even 2 crores, I'm not going to determine TV of benefit towards interest benefit. Remember, exemption with reference to loan amount. Here exemption is with reference to purpose. Good. Note 1 on case 2 ma. That means this note 1 is applicable for medical treatment of specified disease. What it is saying, let's verify. In case employee has been received any reimbursement from insurance company as compensation, then we have to determine the benefit of interest free loan or concessional loan on such compensation amount. I will explain. Pay attention. I will explain. Pay attention. Say for example, employee's father, assume just example, employee's father is suffering from some specified disease ma. Assume suffering from specified disease, employee's father. Now what is the medical expenditure to be incurred is 50 lakh rupees. What is the amount to be required for the purpose of operation or other medical treatment? 50 lakhs for that specified disease. Now he approached the employer and he requested the employer, considering the situation of employee, the employer given 50 lakhs amount as a loan, not as a donation, loan. Again he has to repay. Are you following? As a loan, 50 lakhs given as a loan by charging 0% rate of interest. By charging 0% rate of interest. Now this 50 lakhs loan obtained for medical treatment specific disease of father is a taxable benefit, interest benefit, not taxable, because it is for specified disease medical treatment. Now what happened? His father is having medical insurance. His father is having medical insurance. Therefore, that medical insurance company compensated 10 lakh rupees out of 50 lakh medical expenditure. How much medical insurance company compensated? 10 lakh. If at all medical insurance company compensated 10 lakh rupees out of 50 lakh total cost of medical expenditure, medical treatment, then how much employee has to incur to his father medical treatment? Only 40 lakhs. That means what is the loan obtained by the employee from the employer for medical treatment of specific disease of the father? 50 lakh. But what is spent? 40 lakhs only, because 10 lakhs received as a compensation from insurance company. Then what is the amount not used for medical treatment purpose? 10 lakhs. On this 10 lakhs we shall determine TV of interest benefit. Understood? Because this 10 lakh is not spent for specified disease medical treatment. On this 10 lakhs we shall determine TV of benefit in the hands of employee. Understood the point? Now verify. In case employee has been received any reimbursement from the insurance company as compensation, then we have to determine the benefit of interest free or concessional loan on such a compensation amount. That means what is the compensation received? That is not you are spending out of loan amount. Therefore, on that compensation amount or what is not spent out of loan obtained, both are same. That on that you need to determine TV of interest benefit. Understood? Next note 2. What is note 2? I will explain. Employee approached the employer, requested for a loan. Now the employer provided loan. Employer provided the loan to the employee, but the source for providing loan to the employee is out of RPF account maintained by the employer in the name of employee. What is RPF? Recognized Provident Fund account. So in the recognized Provident Fund account of this employee, some 50 lakhs balance is there. Out of that 50 lakhs, employer provided 10 lakhs as a loan to the employee. Now tell me, what is the TV of interest benefit in the hands of employee? My question. What is the source for providing that loan amount by the employer to the employee? RPF account, which is belongs to the employee. That means from employee funds, loan has been provided to the employee. Come again. The employer provided loan to the employee out of employee own funds. If it all from your own funds, you obtained loan amount, that means is it a taxable value of benefit in your hands? No, because that loan amount is given out of your own funds. RPF belongs to you. Therefore, it is not a taxable value of benefit. When it is taxable value of benefit, in case that loan is provided by the employer to the employee out of employer's own funds, then only it will be a taxable value of benefit. That is the case. Note 2. In case any loan amount has been provided by the employer to the employee out of fund amount created to RPF account which is belongs to the employee, then it is not a taxable value of benefit in the hands of employee. Very good. It is a taxable benefit in the hands of employees only when such loan amount is provided by the employer out of his own funds. This is important. Okay, illustration for better understanding. Pay attention, Loan amount 1 lakh rupee. Date of taking loan 1/4/2021. Rate of interest 0%. That means it is interest free loan. That means we should have information about SBI rate of interest. Installment payment is 10,000 at the end of every month. How the employer is recovering from the employee? Out of 10 lakhs, 10,000 at the end of every month he is recovering. Determine the taxable value of benefit towards interest free loan. Now we should consider what is the rate of interest specified by SBI for that purpose. That is the base rate to determine TV of interest free loan benefit. Chalo, let's verify approach 1. We are verifying. After completion of approach 1, I will explain approach 2. Chalo. Determination of TV of benefit towards interest free loan. Verify the procedure. Please concentrate on format so that it will be easy for you to reproduce in the examination. Determination of TV of benefit towards interest free loan, that is under approach 1. Month first we need to consider ma. Then date of installment, amount of installment, MOMB means maximum outstanding monthly balance, then interest on MOMB. Total 5 columns we need to give. What are the 5 columns? Please tell me. Month, date of installment, amount of installment, then MOMB, maximum outstanding monthly balance, then interest on MOMB. April month ma. What is the date of installment? When the employee is making the payment of 10,000 rupees installment ma at the end of every month. That means for the month of April, what is the date of payment of installment? 30th April 2021. 30th April 2021. What is the amount of installment? 10,000. Tell me what is the loan amount? 1 lakh. Out of 1 lakh, what is the first installment he paid at the end of April month? 10,000. Now after payment of 10,000, what is the maximum outstanding monthly balance after payment of this installment? 90,000. How? 1 lakh minus first installment 10,000. After payment of this, what is maximum outstanding monthly balance? Means 90,000. Understood? When we can consider full 1 lakh there? In MOMB column, when we consider full 1 lakh ma? When the installment amount is first date of next month. Are you following? In case the installment amount is first date of next month, that means at the end of every month, what is outstanding? 1 lakh only. But why here 90,000? Because at the end of April month he is paying 10,000. Then we need to consider after payment of 10,000, what is maximum outstanding monthly balance we need to consider. Understood the point? So how much ma? 90,000. So what is interest on MOMB? That means we need to determine interest on 90,000. So what is the computation ma? 90,000 into SBI rate of interest. I have given there SBI rate of interest sum, whatever it may be, into 90,000 MOMB into SBI rate of interest base rate into, could you please tell me, we are determining interest for full year or for the month of April ma? Full year or for the month of April? See there, for the month of April, that means full 1 year or 1 month we are determining. 1 month, that means what we need to consider? 1 by 12. If you are determining pura year, then into 1 year you can consider, but here we are determining for 1 month, therefore we need to consider 1 by 12. That is very important. So 10% considered as SBI rate of interest ma, 90k into 10% into 1 by 12, because we are determining for 1 month. How much ma? 750. Next month, May, 31st May, 10,000 MOMB, 80,000 interest ma, 667. 80,000 into 10% into 1 by 12. Again for 1 month we are determining. Then consider the same for remaining months ma. Same calculation. Same calculation. Take a look. Take a look at once. Next. December. Okay. January ma. Then MOMB is nothing. February nothing, March nothing. Then what is the total? Total MOMB 4,50,000. How we got that? Total MOMB we added. Comes to 4,50,000. Total interest on MOMB ma? 3,750. That is the TV of benefit. What is TV of interest benefit ma? Interest free loan benefit. 3,750 rupees taxable in the hands of employee. Approach 2. Because under approach 1, for every month you need to do calculation, means it is time taking process ma. So to avoid the time taking process, I am giving approach 2. Under approach 2, very simple. Consider MOMB only. Consider what? Aggregate MOMB. What is aggregate MOMB? 4,50,000 into 10% into 1 by 12. Why 1 by 12 ma? Because we considered aggregate MOMB. Total 12 months we considered. Therefore we need to consider 1 by 12. TV of benefit equal to aggregate MOMB into 10% into 1 by 12. You will get same amount ma. You will get same amount. 4,50,000 into 10% into 1 by 12, that equal to 3,750. That means in simple, with simple calculation you will get TV of interest benefit ma. So if you are following approach to there, that means you need to maintain only 4 columns ma. What are the 4 columns? Month, date of installment, amount of installment, MOMB. No need to go for 5th column interest on MOMB if at all you are following approach 2. So under approach to what you should give, what you need to do, aggregate total MOMB into rate of interest specified by SBI into 1 by 12 you shall give. My question ma, say for example employer is charging 3% ma. Employer is charging 3%, not interest free loan, concessional loan 3% he is charging. Then what should be the computation? Tell me. The computation will be aggregate MOMB 4,50,000 into what is the interest benefit here? The rate of interest specified by SBI 10% minus what is charged by employer 3%. Then what is the rate we need to consider? 7%. That is the benefit into 1 by 12. What if employer is charging 9% ma? Then 10% SBI rate minus charged by employer 9%. What is the 1% is benefit. What if employer is charging 10%, full 10%? Employer is charging full 10% ma. Then SBI rate 10% minus employer charge 10%, 0%. There is no interest benefit because he is paying equal to amount payable to the outsider. There is no TV of interest benefit. Understood? Good. So with this we completed the discussion relating to what? TV of benefit towards interest free loan or concessional loan. Okay ma. Next discussion, very important discussion, lengthy discussion ma. Important as well as lengthy. Obviously 30 minutes we have to invest on this. What is that ma? Motor car benefit. What is that? Motor car benefit. 30 minutes we have to invest. Be prepared. Chalo, let's verify motor car benefit ma. In case of motor car benefit, divided into 3 parts ma, for the purpose of verification of TV of benefit. For the purpose of determination of TV of benefit, the motor car benefit has been divided into 3 parts. Try to understand the procedure, then it will be remembered by you for long time. Come on, concentrate on my explanation. Motor car benefit has been divided into 3 parts. First part is motor car owned by the employee. Motor car owned by the employee and running and maintenance expenditure paid or reimbursed by the employer. The motor car is purchased by the employee, that means owned by the employee. But running and maintenance expenditure, what do you mean by running and maintenance? Repairs and petrol, diesel expenditure, etc., etc. Incurred by whom? Employer. This is part 1. So under part 1, it is single benefit or dual benefit? Single benefit only. Why single benefit ma? Motor car is owned by the employee only. There is no benefit if at all his own car is used by him. But benefit is there towards maintenance, running and maintenance expenditure incurred by the employer. Hence we need to consider that thing for the purpose of determination of TV of benefit. This is part 1. Whereas what is part 2? Motor car provided by the employer and running and maintenance expenditure also incurred by employer. Dual benefit, 2 benefits ma. Motor car also provided, running and maintenance expenditure also incurred by the employer. That means how many benefits he is receiving from employer? 2 benefits. This is part 2. Then part 3. What is part 3? You can guess. You can guess ma. What is part 3? Motor car provided by the employer. Motor car provided by the employer and running and maintenance expenditure incurred by employee. Again single benefit. Again single benefit. These are the 3 parts ma. Come on, get me the 3 parts ma for the purpose of determination of TV of benefit towards motor car. Come on please. First part, motor car owned by the employee, running and maintenance expenditure incurred by the employer, single benefit, part 1. Part 2 ma, motor car provided by the employer and running and maintenance expenditure also incurred by employer. 2 benefits we need to determine in the hands of employee in case of part 2. See, part 2, 2 benefits. Easy for remembrance. Part 2, 2 benefits. And don't say part 3, 3 benefits. No. That is not worked out there. Then part 3, ma. What is part 3? Motor car provided by the employer. Running and maintenance expenditure incurred by employee. Understood the point? So total 3 parts. Now, under each part, 3 cases are there. Under each part, 3 cases are there. What are those 3 cases under each part? First case, motor car exclusively used by the employee for official purpose. Motor car exclusively used by employee for official purpose, case 1. Second case, motor car exclusively used by the employee for personal purpose. Case 3, partly used for official, partly used for personal. Under each case, under each part, these 3 cases you need to consider. That means 3 cases into 3 parts. Total how many cases we are having? 9 cases. Total 9 cases. Possibility for appearing any one case in the examination, you should be in a position to answer. Understood the point? Yes. Chalo, let's verify one by one, ma. First, part 1. What is part 1? Motor car is owned by the employee and running and maintenance expenditure is incurred by employer. Single benefit. It is single benefit. Very good. What is the procedure to determine TV of benefit? How many cases we are having? 3 cases. Case 1, case 2, case 3. What is case 1, ma? Motor car is used by the employee purely for official purpose, ma. Purely for official purpose means it is for the benefit of employer or for the benefit of employee, na. Official purpose it is used, that means for the benefit of employer. If it is for the benefit of employer, not a taxable benefit in the hands of employee. Remember, common sense. Second case, motor car is used by the employee purely for personal purpose. If at all purely for personal purpose, that means obviously we need to determine TV of benefit in the hands of employee. Then partly for personal, partly for official purpose. That means partly not taxable but partly taxable. What is the procedure we will discuss. Chalo. First one, case 1, ma. Case 1. Motor car is used by the employee purely for official purpose. If at all purely for official purpose, it is for the benefit of employer. Therefore, it is not a TV of benefit in the hands of employee. It is not a taxable benefit in the hands of employee, since it is in the benefit of employer. Very good. Next, ma. Next, motor car is used by the employee purely for personal purpose. Tell me, if at all it is used purely for personal purpose, whether it is a taxable benefit in the hands of employee or not a taxable benefit. Obviously, it is a taxable benefit in the hands of employee. Now how to determine taxable value of benefit, ma? It is a taxable benefit because used by the employee for personal purpose. Okay. How to determine taxable value of benefit? My question, how many benefits are there in the part? Only single benefit. What is that single benefit? Running and maintenance expenditure. There is no benefit towards usage of motor car because that motor car is owned by the employee. The owner of the motor car used for his personal purpose, will there be any taxable value of benefit, ma? If at all the employee used his own car? No. That means no need to determine benefit towards motor car because that is owned by the employee himself. Therefore, that means we need to determine TV of benefit towards running and maintenance expenditure incurred by the employer. Understood the point, ma? So tell me now, think and tell me, what is the procedure to determine TV of benefit in respect of case 2, purely personal purpose? Very simple, ma. Consider expenditure incurred by the employer towards running and maintenance expenditure. Now less amount collected from employee, balance will be TV of benefit. Very simple, ma. If you think very easy, if you apply your common sense, very easy. Taxation is very easy if you apply your common sense. That's it. So what is TV of benefit, ma? Expenditure incurred by the employer. Consider towards what? Running and maintenance. That is also given, I think. Towards running and maintenance. Less amount, any amount collected from employee reduced, then balance will be TV of benefit. This is for case 2. What about case 3, ma? What is case 3? Motor car is used by the employee partly for personal and partly for official purpose. Then how to determine TV of benefit, I will explain. It is a taxable benefit in the hands of employee. Why taxable benefit ma? Because partly using for official and partly using for personal purpose. In such a case, what we should do? Consider total expenditure incurred by the employer towards running and maintenance. From that, less expenditure relating to official. Whenever that motor car is used for official purpose, that expenditure you need to less. Then you will get expenditure, balance expenditure, and that is used for personal purpose. From that less any amount collected from employee, balance will be chargeable to tax. I will repeat once again, concentrate. First of all, consider what is the total expenditure incurred by the employer towards running and maintenance. From the total expenditure, what we need to reduce? We need to reduce expenditure towards official purpose, because that is not taxable. That is for the benefit of employer. That should not be included in TV of benefit in the hands of employee. Therefore, the expenditure towards official purpose we need to reduce. Then you will get expenditure towards personal purpose. From that any amount collected from employee, that reduced, that must be reduced. Balance will be TV of benefit. Understood ma? Good. Chalo, TV of benefit. Total expenditure incurred by the employer towards running and maintenance. First of all, consider total expenditure towards official and personal purpose, that is towards running and maintenance. From that, what we need to reduce? Less expenditure towards official purpose. What we need to reduce ma? Expenditure towards official purpose. How to determine what is the expenditure towards official purpose? Very simple. It is depends upon the facts. What is that? In case logbook is maintained by the employer, what is that ma? Logbook. What is logbook? LOG, logbook. What is logbook? Whenever the motor car is used for official purpose, he will book the expenditure towards official purpose. Understood the point? What is logbook? Whenever that motor car used for official purpose, he will simply book the expenditure towards official purpose. That means if logbook is maintained, simply total expenditure incurred towards official purpose will be available at a single glance. Will be available at a single glance. So that amount shall be reduced. When it is? Only when the logbook is maintained by the employer. If logbook is maintained by the employer, amount recorded in the logbook, that must be reduced. Very simple. What if logbook is not maintained by the employer ma? That means the employer is not recording whenever it is using for official purpose. The employer is not recording what is the expenditure incurred for official purpose. Therefore, since logbook is not maintained, therefore we cannot get what is expenditure towards official purpose through logbook. Now what we should do? Now we have to reduce the amount. We have to reduce the amount depending upon engine capacity of the car. Come again. We have to reduce depending upon engine capacity of the car. If the engine capacity of the car does not exceed 1600 cc, then it is purely depends upon engine capacity. The engine capacity does not exceed 1600 cc. That means the engine capacity is less than or equal to 1600 cc. Then what we need to reduce means 1800 per month. How much? 1800 per month we need to reduce towards official purpose. Even engine capacity does not exceed 1600 cc. In case engine capacity is exceeding 1600 cc, then 2400 per month we need to reduce towards official purpose. In case driver is provided extra 900 per month, we need to reduce. Additionally 900 per month we need to reduce towards official purpose. All these things you need to consider only when logbook is not maintained. In case logbook is maintained, very simple, consider the amount recorded in logbook towards official purpose, reduce. Then you will get expenditure towards personal. Simple. Only when the logbook is not maintained, it is depending upon engine capacity less than or equal to 1600 cc, 1800 per month reduce. Exceeding 1600 cc, 2400 per month reduce. Driver provided additional 900 per month reduce. Then if you reduce all these things depending upon the situation, then you will get expenditure towards personal purpose incurred by the employer for employee. From that reduce amount collected from employee, then you will get TV of benefit. I explained in a very detailed way, ma. No need to get confused. I'm very sure regarding that, damn sure regarding that. No, there is no possibility to get the doubt. I'm explaining in a very easiest way. Concentrate, verify the procedure, you will get it. So finally you will get the TV of benefit, ma. Chalo. Next, part 2. What is part 2? Motor car is owned or leased by the employer and running and maintenance expenditure also incurred by employer. How many benefits, ma? Dual benefits. Motor car benefit is there, running and maintenance benefit also there. Then again 3 cases same. 3 cases same. First case, ma. Motor car is used by the employee purely for official purpose. Same as above, purely for official purpose. Not a TV of benefit in the hands of employee because it is in the benefit of employer. Same. Second case, ma. Motor car used by the employee purely for personal purpose. If at all it is used by the employee purely for personal purpose, obviously it is a taxable value of benefit. Here we need to determine benefit towards motor car as well as benefit towards running and maintenance expenditure, because 2 benefits are coming from employer to the employee. Hence with respect to 2 benefits we need to determine TV of benefit. Understood the point? So tell me whether it is a TV of benefit or not a TV of benefit. First of all, yes, it is a TV of benefit. Then how to determine TV of benefit, ma? Please tell me. Please tell me how to determine TV of benefit. Come on. How? Here we need to determine TV of benefits towards motor car first of all. So how to determine benefit towards motor car, ma? We already discussed the similar case in our earlier discussion. In this session only I explained just half an hour before. Motor car given for usage. What is the procedure to determine TV of benefit? Covered under mobile asset given for usage, if you remember. Then owned by the employer, 10% of actual cost per annum. Leased by the employer, actual lease benefits, actual lease rentals paid by the employer. Do you remember? Do you remember? So this is the procedure to determine benefit towards motor car, ma. Then how to determine benefit towards running and maintenance expenditure? Very simple. Expenditure incurred by the employer towards running and maintenance. That means motor car benefit, first of all we need to determine depending upon the owned and leased case. To that what we need to add? Expenditure incurred by the employer towards running and maintenance. Then you will get total benefit. From that less amount collected from employee, you will get TV of benefit in the hands of employee. Expenditure incurred by the employer towards R&M. Then add benefit towards motor car. How to determine benefit towards motor car? Owned, 10% of actual cost per annum. Leased, actual lease rentals paid by the employer. Then you will get total benefit. From that reduce amount collected from employee, then you will get TV of benefit, ma. Understood the point? Good. Then third case, ma. What is third case? Motor car is used by the employee partly for personal purpose and partly for official purpose. Here irrespective of actual expenditure incurred by the employer. Come again. While determining TV of benefit under case 3 under part 2, irrespective of actual expenditure incurred by the employer, the TV of benefit is purely depends upon engine capacity. In earlier part, that is part 1 case 3, what we reduced there, here it is directly chargeable to tax, ma. What we reduced there, here it is directly chargeable to tax. Remember, it is a taxable benefit in the hands of employee. TV of benefit is purely depends upon the engine capacity irrespective of actual expenditure incurred by the employer. See, in the examination they will give part 2 case 3. Part 2 case 3 they will give, and they will give actual expenditure incurred by the employer. Don't consider, because the TV of benefit is purely depends upon engine capacity. What is TV of benefit, ma? Engine capacity does not exceed 1600 cc, 1800 per month chargeable to tax. 1800 per month chargeable to tax. Exceeding 1600 cc, 2400 per month chargeable to tax. Driver provided additionally, if provided, in addition to that, 900 per month chargeable to tax. Understood? These things are directly taxable irrespective of actual expenditure incurred by the employer. Next, ma, part 3. Can you guess what is part 3? Motor car provided by the employer and running and maintenance expenditure incurred by the employee. Again single benefit. Again 3 cases we need to verify. Case 1 purely official, purely personal. Case 2 partly official, partly personal. Case 3. Understood ma? Okay. Purely for official purpose ma. What is TV of benefit? Obviously there will be no TV of benefit because it is in the benefit of employer. Then purely personal purpose, if at all motor car used by the employee purely for personal purpose towards in respect of what we need to determine TV of benefit, please tell me. In respect of what we need to determine TV of benefit? There the running and maintenance expenditure is incurred by the employee from his own pocket ma. If at all R&M expenditure incurred by the employee from his own pocket, there is no need to determine TV of benefit towards R&M expenditure. But we need to determine TV of benefit towards motor car because that motor car is owned or leased by the employer and provided to the employee for usage. For motor car we need to determine benefit. It is a taxable benefit in the hands of employee. Okay. TV of benefit ma only in respect of motor car, same owned, 10% of actual cost per annum, leased, actual lease rentals paid by the employer as a case may be. From that we need to reduce amount collected from employee, then you will get TV of benefit. Next ma, case 3 partly personal and partly official. Partly personal, partly official, again irrespective of actual expenditure incurred by the employer, it is completely depends upon engine capacity, same as above, same as case 3 part 2. It is completely depends upon engine capacity, but we are not charging entire 1800, entire 2400 because single benefit is here. It is only single benefit. Their dual benefit, that's why 1800 per month does not exceed 1600 cc, 2400 per month if it is exceeded 1600 cc, but in only single benefit ma. That's why we are not charging those amounts, we are charging lesser amounts. What are those? I will explain. It is a taxable benefit in the hands of employee. TV of benefit is purely depends upon engine capacity. Okay. Chalo. What is TV of benefit ma? Purely depends upon engine capacity. Does not exceed 1600 cc. 900 per month. Sorry ma, 600. 600 per month we are charging to test if because the engine capacity does not exceed 1600 cc. Exceeding 1600 cc అయితే 900 per month. Driver additionally provided, same, that amount is same, 900 per month. That amount is same, 900 per month we need to consider. Earlier case 1800, instead of 1800 here 600, instead of 2400 here is 900 because their dual benefit, here single benefit, that's why reduced amounts. And driver is same always, 900 per month if provided. Understood ma? Okay. See the situation. What if the employer provided more than one motor car and all those cars are used by the employee or any member of household otherwise than wholly and exclusively for official purpose? Could you please explain me this? Please explain me this. Say for example, assume 3 motor cars provided ma. How many? 3 motor cars provided. All 3 cars are using for official purpose. All 3 cars are using for official purpose. Any TV of benefit is there? No. Second case, 3 motor cars provided. All 3 cars are using for personal purpose. Then obviously we need to determine TV of benefit for all 3 cars, full amount, because purely personal. Whereas 3 cars provided, all 3 cars are using partly for official and partly for personal. That is the point. What if the employer provided more than one motor car, all those cars used by the employee and or any family member of household otherwise than wholly and exclusive for official purpose? That means that is using partly for official and partly for personal, and certain cars are using for purely personal purpose also. Then what is the procedure to determine TV of benefit? I will explain. Then the chargeability shall be as follows. For one motor car, TV of benefit shall be determined as if such car is used by the employee for partly for official and partly for personal. For one car. Remaining cars purely personal. TV of benefit shall be determined as if such car is used by the employee for exclusively personal purpose. That is very important. More than one car provided by the employee and all the cars are used by the employer member of household, otherwise than for exclusively for official purpose. That means partly personal, partly official. Certain cars using purely for personal purpose only. In such a case, one motor car determine TV of benefit considering partly for personal, partly for official. All remaining motor cars determine TV of benefit considering as if those cars are used purely for personal purpose. Remember, that is regarding motor car benefit. Very important from the viewpoint of examination. With this we completed motor car benefit. Next one, housing accommodation. Lengthy discussion and important discussion. Lengthy discussion and important discussion. I need 1 hour, pura 1 hour, minimum pura 1 hour to discuss housing accommodation. I will explain in the next session. So tell me, understood so far what we discussed? Good. In the next session we will discuss housing accommodation. We will start with housing accommodation. Thank you. Good day.